all things Halloween. This is Hauntformer, and I am so excited, you guys. Today marks the first official build day for The End Haunted House 2018. That's right, in just only a few months, The End will be constructed at my grandparents' garage, a haunted house location I've done annually now for the past, I think, 6 or 7 years. It's been quite a bit, and we've had this amazing journey over the past several years, going from a nameless haunted house to having the first haunted house on YouTube that I did, the Creepy Carnival, building all the way up to my more recent, better constructed, I'll say, haunted houses, horror, and abandoned. And I think this year just might be the best year yet. I have a suspicion, and I absolutely love this theme. As you guys know, I love zombies, I love aliens, and mutants. So this is going to be a really fun year, so I'm excited to talk to you today about the first step in haunted house creation. Before you can get to props, before you can get to special effects, costumes, lighting, all of that fun stuff that I love, the most important step in making a haunted house, I think, is coming up with the proper and correct layout, the blueprints of your haunted house. I sat down and I did a digital sketch, is that a word? A digital sketch of the haunted house layout for this year. So I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to show you a wide shot of the haunted house so you can kind of see the outline of it. Then we're going to take you through the walk path that guests will take as they go through the haunt this year. And then we're going to explain what each room in the haunted house this year will entail. So you saw the wide picture, the large bird's eye view, but let me take you through the walkway that the guests will go on in the haunt this year. So when they enter the haunted house, they're going to walk down a hallway, and you'll notice that there are these green lines. Each of those green lines represents a boundary that they'll have to pass through. So they'll pass through each of these boundaries. They're going to do almost a U-turn. They're going to go down another long hallway, and then they're going to make a right turn, and then another U-turn. There's lots of turns this year, but I wanted to do something different and a little bit creative. So that's what we're trying this year for the haunted house. A very different, but also very comfortable path. It may get a little tight in a few areas, but I think it's going to work out okay. So when guests enter the haunt, as per every year, we have the same kind of entrance. There is this large wooden panel that you've seen in every other year that I've done this. A large wooden panel, and this panel, for this year, this season at least, is going to be the research lab, at least the main research lab. And within this research lab, we're going to have one of the more newer props that I've collected in my large array of Halloween decorations, the hazmat zombie. And alongside the hazmat zombie, we're also going to have the new green Martian prop that I picked up from Distortions. These two are going to be the big front runners when you first enter the haunted house this year. I mean, there's going to be a lot of other small details that you won't want to miss when I do this, but those are definitely the standout pieces. We also, this year, I'm not exactly sure how we're going to situate the front. Last year it was an electric fence, which we could always do as well. This year I was thinking we could have a door to the right, the left when people walk in the haunted house. That way, when people enter, they'll see this door, maybe it says Rady Pro Research Labs, and then they walk past the door and we'll see the hazmat zombie and the alien. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to be situated in this area, but I do think it's going to be a really cool scene. I would also really love to get a scare actor, at least one, possibly two, in this area, dressed like an alien to, you know, have a really cool interaction when guests enter the haunt. When they go past that first green area, the first green wall, they're going to run into the alien autopsy room. Now, this is the room that could be pretty tight, because in order for this room to work, I need an entire table to fit in this section. And on this table is going to be a dead alien. Which dead alien, you are probably asking, or maybe you're not. That is the question of the day. I'm not entirely sure. Distortions has an alien autopsy, dead alien prop that I might pick up, but I'm not 100% sure I'm getting it. There is a good chance, though, because it is higher up on my lists of wants for this season. So that's not an option, but it's not 100% confirmed. I also am building some alien corpses that could potentially be in there. There's a lot of different ideas, but for now, let's just say it's that alien autopsy. And then in the corner, before guests make a left-hand turn in this room, we are going to have the Area 31 capsule from Spirit Halloween last year. It's a giant, if you haven't seen it before, it's a giant tank with an alien inside. This is one of the aliens from the story of the haunted house. Again, go back and watch the story video. But this is the alien that the government brought to R.I.P, or at least one of them. And this is one of the aliens that the other aliens are trying to break free from humanity's grasp. After they walk past this alien with the flashing light, they're going to go into the, I would say, the densest scare actor portion of the haunt. At least that's what I'm hoping. And these are the quarantine chambers, the quarantine rooms. Now, the main creature that I want to see in this section would be the fly monster, most likely scare acted by yours truly, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I also would love more hazmat zombies in this section, and even perhaps one alien, though I'm not 100% sure. This would also likely be the place to see a lot of hazmat and toxic waste themed props in this section. This is going to be definitely a darker section of the haunted house, but I think it's going to be a really fun one. After they leave this quarantine chamber section, they will walk back through the research lab, again seeing more aliens, seeing the alien that they saw before, and then they're going to make a right-hand turn. Now, when they enter the next room, it is going to be an electrical-themed room. I tried to do this last year to mixed success. I really want to crack down on more of an electrical-style room with more gauges and switches in here. This is kind of the whole network of R.I.P Industries. And of course, the headliner prop for this room is, of course, the electrified corpse, which is one of my, I don't know if I mentioned this on my channel before, but one of my most recent favorite props. So I definitely think that this guy needs to be in this area. Of course, we're also going to have live wires and some other props, but he's definitely going to be the centerpiece of that room. After they leave that room, they're going to go into another room I called the zombie break-in room. This is going to be the main room for zombies, not just in terms of scare acting, but also in terms of decorations and animatronics. The two main animatronics I would love to see in this room are the flesh-eating zombie that I have and the smoldering zombie. I also would love to put a fog machine in this room, possibly, and maybe a, one of those siren lights. I don't know exactly what to call it. It's the red siren light. I would probably want to get another one of those for this year, but definitely this room's going to be a really fun room that I think people are going to enjoy quite a bit, especially if you're a fan of zombies. Leaving that room, they're going to go into a room that I recently came up with, and I think it's going to be a really interesting experience. This is the insect lab, and I haven't worked out all the kinks of what this room's going to entail, but this year I wanted to have a higher number of insects in the haunted house. Maybe I can even get some terrariums with creepy flickering lights on them to create a cool atmosphere in this room. And the smoke will be bleeding in from the zombie room in this case. And I also want to pick up the Arachnoid Mask that Trick or Treat Studios produced. This is a giant long-haired spider mask. And there's going to be cocoons in this room from the insect mutants. I think this is going to be a really fun one, you guys. That is a room that you're going to want to stay tuned for. The next room is going to be, I haven't worked out, again, all of the kinks for this room either. This is the R.I.P Pro office, I guess you could call it. I want to have an office desk, along with maybe some clipboards on it, possibly a corpse sitting at the desk, and maybe an alien in this room, a scare actor or something. This is a transition room for one of the final scenes in the haunted house, and that is the Abduction Hallway. The way this Abduction Hallway is going to work is I want many strobe lights. When guests are looking down the hallway, I want one strobe light at the very end that outlines the giant alien leader, because his hands are kind of reaching out. That is simulating the guests walking into or being sucked into a UFO. Finally, when they turn and pass by the giant alien leader, they're in the end of the end haunt. They're at the end of the end. And I'm not sure what's going to go in this area. Probably not too much. Potentially one more scare actor, though most of the other scenes are going to take up a lot of the actors. And they'll finally exit through the third garage door to the right, or the first one to the left, depending on how you're looking at the garage. And that will conclude the end haunted house. This is, I think, going to work out logistically. In years previous, I've kind of just done whatever and changed around the layout, but I really hope this layout will stick. The only area that I could see some blockage would be in the alien autopsy and quarantine chamber section. That might get a little tight in there, but we'll work it out regardless. So that is day one, build day one of the end haunted house. Are you guys excited? Get excited. Halloween is only a few months away, and you can always subscribe to Hauntformer and hit the little bell, and it will always be Halloween here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're excited for the end as well as I am. More builds are on their way soon. I have some really fun ones, so you're not going to want to miss out. Again, hit that bell so you don't miss any Halloween goodness. Thank you again for watching, and remember, as always, for all things Halloween, this is Hauntformer.